Hi friends! Today we're going to take a little break from decomposing and we're going to learn a strategy in math called drawing to help figure out the problem. So I'm going to use some words and we're going to draw out what facts or numbers Ms. Vogel tells you to help you solve the math problem. Are you ready? Have to be really good listeners today. You might want to use headphones or be in a quiet place where you can make sure you hear everything that I'm telling you. And the other part I want to make sure you understand today is that we're going to draw. Ms. Vogel's going to draw kind of quickly so that you're not sitting here for a really long time. I know some of you are perfectionists and you love to draw, and we love when you add details to your pictures. But for today's lesson in math, when we talk about drawing different things, you don't have to add all the details. You might be able to use two different colors to help you differentiate or tell the difference between things. But I want you to be good listeners, quick workers, and I think we'll get through this lesson. Are you ready? Awesome. Let's go. Okay. If you look at our first page on 7.6, page 391, you will see there are some flowers around the outside. It has nothing to do with our problem. Look right here. It says blank chairs, okay? So there are 14 children sitting on chairs, and there is one chair with no child on it. So let's go back. There are 14 children sitting on chairs. So what we're gonna do is I'm just going to make an L. Those are my chairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still drawing it kind of in a 10 frame to help us organize our drawing. Because if we just draw it all over, it's going to get really confusing. So still try to do 5 and 5, so 10. We said there were 14 kids sitting in chairs. There's 11, 12, 13, 14, okay? Now, to show that there are 14 kids, because there's more to this problem, I'm going to just put a red circle on each chair. That tells me that there's somebody sitting in each of those chairs, okay? So 14 kids sitting in 14 chairs. You get caught up with me? If you need to pause the video, you can pause it and finish your drawing. Now, the next part of this, though, is there is one chair with no kids sitting on it. So I need to go back and draw one more. I'm going to put it in this row because there were only 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have that chair, but there's nobody sitting in it. My question to you is, I want to know how many chairs there are. Well, if you drew the same way I did, how many are here? There are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There are actually 15 chairs. The first part told us there were 14 kids sitting in those chairs, and then there was one chair with nobody in it. So altogether, there are 15 chairs. Got it? See what I mean by you gotta be really good listeners? There's lots of facts, and I'm gonna break it down for you, but hopefully you can follow along with me. The next part, the next page has to do with flowers and bumblebees. So let's go ahead and turn to the next page. Okay? There are 15 flowers, okay? So we're going to draw 15 flowers. I'm going to use red today for that. I'm not going to draw the flowers. I'm just going to draw a circle as a counter for the flowers to represent the flowers. So there are 15. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so I drew 15 flowers. Let's go ahead. I want you to go back and we need to look. We're going to try and break this down a little bit before I give you the next fact. Remember, if you drew like Miss Vogel, we try to organize it when we're doing it. If you just make it all one big line, it makes it kind of hard to see or count. If I draw it like this, I can look right away and see that that is how many? 10. You are welcome to divide it if you would like to. There's 10 and 5 more, which equals 15, okay? So there are 15 flowers. Now, 10 of those flowers have a bee on them. So I'm gonna make my bees, I'm gonna use blue for my bees. Blue, bee. 10 of the flowers have one bee on them. This should be kind of easy because I know there are 10 there. So to show that there's a bee, I'm just gonna put a little blue dot on top. Pretend that that's the bee on top of the flower, maybe smelling it, okay? Don't have to add all the details like the bumblebee wings or any of that kind of stuff. That would just take us too long and it defeats the purpose of knowing what we're really trying to do, okay? Now, those blue bees on the red flowers, there were only 10 of them. How many more bees would I need if I wanted to put them on all of the flowers? Let's look. There are some flowers that do not have bees on them. How many are there? If I wanted a bee on every flower, well, these all have bees on them, but these ones don't. So how many more bees would I need in order to put a bee on every flower? Let's count the ones that do not have bees on them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would need to add 5 more bees to make a bee on every flower. Understand? I know that's a lot of information. Stick with me. Let's go ahead. If you need to pause, if you didn't get all this drawn, you can pause and then come back. Let's go ahead and move on, if you're with me, to the next page. And on this page, we're going to talk about boys. Are you ready? Well, there are 15 children in Miss Vogel's class. It doesn't say Vogel, it says Miss Sully, but we'll say Miss Vogel. So there are 15 boys in the class. So we're going to draw 15 counters. Just like we've been doing, we want it organized and spread out so it's easy for you to count. So here we go. 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to the next row. Right underneath. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going all the way up to 15. Remember, there were 15 kids in my class. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's the 15 kids in my class. Now, let's go ahead and break it up so it's easy for us to see and count. We know up here there are 10. If we drew it out the right way, you can turn it into a 10 frame to help you visually see that there are 10 there in that 10 frame, okay? So there are 15 children in my class. There are 5 children in each row. Well, it's a good thing we did it that way. 5, 5, and 5. There are 15 children, 5 children in each row. There are 3 boys and 2 girls in each row. So we need to find out how many are boys and how many are girls. So what we're going to do is it says the first 3 are boys and the second 2 are girls. So we're gonna do boy begins with B and girl begins with G. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the first 3 are boys. So I'm gonna put a B, 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 and then girl begins with G. I'll put a G and a G, okay? The first 3 are boys, the second 2 are girls. We have rows of 5. So we would do it again. Boy, 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 girl, girl. And again, even though these ones aren't in a 10 frame, we're going to do the same thing. Boy, 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 girl, girl. Now, the question is, I want to know how many boys there are in my class, if that's how it is. So that means we're going to count all the B's for boy to find out how many boys there are. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 boys in my class, or in Miss Sully's class if we're following the book. We are halfway through our chapter, so on the next page we're going to have our mid-chapter checkup. So let's go ahead and move on to our very last page today and check and see how you're doing. Okay, so we are starting with number 1. It wants us to count how many counters there are. I hope you remember that if you start with a full frame, a full 10 frame, there are 10 counters. So let's practice counting on. If we say 10, what comes after 10? When you're counting by ones, it would be 11. So 10, 11, 12. Do you remember how to write a 12? I hope so. It is a 1 and a 2. For number 2, 14 is equal to blank plus blank. This is where we decompose and break it up into 2 numbers. Let's start by drawing 14 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you're spreading them out so you can see. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're going to draw that 10 frame at the top to help us visually see how many counters there are. Go ahead and break that up. So 14 is equal to something plus something. Do you remember how we break that apart? How many ones or how many counters are in this 10 frame? There are 10. So 14 is equal to 10 plus how many are going to be left over out of the 10 frame? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 14 is equal to 10 plus 4 more. Good job. Let's go ahead and count for numbers 3 and number 4. You're going to count the items and write that number in there. You don't have to draw the 10 frame, but in my mind, I like to think, oh, that's 10. So 10 and 1 more is 11. A 1 and a 1. Good. Number 4, we're going to count the lemons. In my mind, I like to think, oh, there's 10. If I can count 10, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh no. Do you remember how to write 15? That's kind of a big number. I bet you can do it. 15, it's a teen, so we know there's going to be a 1 first. And 15, 5, a 1 and a 5. And last but not least, let's go ahead and look down here at number 5. We're going to count how many beautiful pink flowers there are. How many are here? 10, 11, 12, 13. So go ahead. Oops, a 1 and a 3. A 1 and a 3 make the number 13. All right, if you did good in this mid-chapter checkup, you've gotten the hang of all the things we've gone over so far. If not, mom or dad or an adult at home might want to go back and review some of our previous lessons. It's important that you know what you can identify these numbers. If I were to say, can you write the number 12? You know it's a 1 and a 2. If you haven't gotten to that point, Maybe have some flashcards and practice those flashcards so you know the numbers and you can write them when someone just tells you the number. You know what digits are in it, and you can do that. Have a great day in math. Don't forget to do your homework. I'll see you tomorrow.